Hey everybody, welcome back to Nidus Anarchy series. I'm your host Adam. This has nothing to do with computer security. So if you're in for this for identity management or you think we're going to talk about some crazy hack, go ahead and sign off now because we are going to be talking about some really cool records. So basically it's Friday and I've been talking tech all week and my brain is fried. So I just want to talk about something that I enjoy and I think is fun. A while back I did one about the Slayer LP box set. I had a lot of fun doing it and it looks like a lot of other people enjoyed it. So you know what? Forget it. We're going to do it again. So I have a stack of records. These records are the ones I kind of just had up here in rotation. And Ian was saying, hey, should we record something? And I was like, dude, I don't want to talk about anything anymore. I was like, unless it's something cool or fun, I just don't want to do it. So I looked down and I was like, I could talk about Doom. I could talk about my records. I could talk about all kinds of cool stuff there. So I said, screw it. That's what we're going to do. So I have no idea where this is going to go. So buckle up. We'll see what happens. So this record, I just got this from a good friend of mine over the weekend. He got it for me as an early birthday present. And he was pretty smart about it because he asked my wife to find out if I already had it, and it was bizarre because I remember my wife's asked me, she's like, oh yeah, I remember you listening to the Doom soundtrack on your record player the other day. I'm like, what? I don't have the Doom soundtrack. She's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, what do you, like, no, I absolutely don't. Trust me, I would know. I'm a big Doom fan. I'm pretty sure I mean, literally, look, like, this whole sleeve is all Doom. Like, this is the Doom guy with his chainsaw. This is, you got the Hell Knight up on top and the Cyber Demon down here. We got the dude on the walls and stuff. So yeah, I'm a big Doom fan. So I'm pretty sure I would know if I have the record or not. And I was like, no, I'm like, what you're thinking of is the Quake record. I have the Quake album with the Nine Inch Nails music. And I was like, that's the one I have. She's like, oh, okay. Well, I found out she was doing recon for my friend to make sure I didn't have the record so he could buy it. So anyway, this is the actual soundtrack to the Doom kind of reboot that was done on Xbox. Not the original Doom. Although the original Doom, I just found out the music, the score that they did, which was all in MIDI, right? That, you know, the really bad music now, but back then it was still pretty rad. I mean, honestly, if you hear the Doom soundtrack, look, you know what? Hold on. Let's play. I don't know how much I'm allowed to play stuff, but let's just play the original. Let's find the original Doom soundtrack. Doom soundtrack. Hopefully not the remake. 2016, that's the original. Where's Doomslayer? I love that's Doomslayer too. I mean, come on, that's like so fitting for me. But anyway, oh, Doom original. Okay, here we go. Original game. Nope, this is still the Mick Gordon one. Dang it. Hold on. Let's go. Let's just do YouTube. We'll guarantee to find that here. YouTube, Doom theme song. I bet that'll pop up, right? Because everyone knows the Doom theme song. Here we go. Is this it? That's Doom Eternal. Oh, the Doom Eternal game, I am not a fan. What the heck? Why is this so hard to find? Probably because this album is so amazingly awesome. That's all everyone talks about. But no, original. One thing about using the Brave search engine is you really don't get the best results. But I'm trying to stay away from Google as much as I can here. Original game. Still Bethesda. Nope. Okay, here we go. I think we got it. We're gonna listen to an ad first. We're gonna wait. Now anyway, so this Doom King, I got this game actually before it even came out. I remember it being kind of pirated in the underground bulletin boards. I used to run one of the larger underground bulletin boards out of Michigan back in the day, trading wares and elite files. And the Doom game, the beta before it came out, was actually one of the biggest things, the hottest things in the underground before it actually was even released. So anyway, okay, here we go. Let's see. I mean, even now, this music's obviously not the best quality, but like, this song just gets the adrenaline going because you know it's like you're gonna some shit up, right? And then obviously we got the new version. So, but that song was originally, I think, an SOD riff from Stormtroopers of Death. I'm almost positive. Let me find out the band because I remember it being something like Doom.
Sounds a little like Master of Puppets.
Well, what they did is they pulled directly from like all their favorite bands that they were listening to at the time and just kind of remade it in that MIDI format and then made that the soundtrack. And that explains why it's so freaking awesome. So this Doom game, when it came out, this remake of this Doom game was awesome. I still love it. They did a great job. Super intense, very difficult to play. The music, though, was insane. I mean, I remember that was probably the first thing that when you heard that music, I mean, look at this. Like, I'm getting like goosebumps just like thinking about it because it's so freaking brutal. When that music starts, you're just like, oh, this is going to be rad. And yeah, this game was amazing in a large part to the music. And the music is Mick Gordon. Now, Mick Gordon, he created the music for the Doom soundtrack on the remake for the Bethesda 2016 version of Doom. So he's the guy responsible for the awesomeness that is the Doom soundtrack. And then for Doom Eternal, they brought him back to do it, but there was a huge controversy around it because Bethesda or whoever the hell it was, they completely messed it up. Mick Gordon was pissed because I guess they took away his creative control from it, so it really wasn't like his stamp of approval going out, which makes sense because I don't know, it wasn't there. It sounded like someone was trying to copy his music, his style, but not doing a good job at it. So this album is phenomenal. I highly recommend listening to it. If you're a Doom fan, you'll definitely love it. I'm surprised you don't know about it, honestly. But let's check this out. So inside, we got 2 sleeves, and they have some of the concept art from the game. All right, so that's pretty cool. Oops. And on the back is just kind of the track listing for each. Now, each record looks the same, but it is an awesome, clear, kind of ruby red. Look at this. How red is that? Looks. I mean, that's like... This is so awesome. I want to listen to this right now. We need to figure out what the rules are about playing music, like how long we can play stuff or something. Because
it just won't be monetized, which doesn't matter.
Okay, so we're not making money, so we can play the music. Okay, cool. So let's find... Okay, so we played the original Doom. Now let's find... Now I can play this one easy because it's right here.
And
so
Harold
now...
put it over. Yeah.
Right, so... Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do something crazy. We'll just play the record. Whoa, mind blown. So anyway, yeah, I highly recommend this. If you like the Doom game, if you like the Doom soundtrack, if you're a Doom fan, this is a must-have. I highly recommend. The quality on this pressing is sick. 180 gram vinyl. I mean, you can feel the depth of every instrument. They did a great job producing this album, so definitely recommend it. But yeah, let's listen to track 1. It also has a really great intro, which is super freaking awesome. Let's check this out. There we go. Now, the problem is, can I find side 1? Now, this isn't like my best setup. This is just my office setup, but it should still sound pretty rad. Here we go. Ooh. There we go.
In the first age, in the first battle,
Picked up by that.
when the shadows first lengthened, one stood. He chose the path of perpetual torment.
I feel like I should be playing this record backwards. What's the hidden message?
With boiling blood, he scoured the umbral plains, seeking vengeance against the Dark Lords who had wronged him. And those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doomslayer.
So that's just a taste. Oh, I shouldn't have turned that off. Let's play some stuff. But yeah, so that is the Doom soundtrack. That's just a taste of it. It is sick. The entire album, every song is that heavy. So yeah, this one is definitely one of my favorite albums of all time of a video game soundtrack. And just, I mean, in general, the music. I don't want to put it down as being a video game soundtrack because honestly, what do you think? You just heard it for like 2 seconds.
Cool.
Right? And Ian doesn't play video games. Yeah, this album, rad. Okay, next, this is not my record. So, same buddy that gave this to me, he brought this over because he bought it, but he doesn't have a record player. But he really wanted to listen to it on my system, so he bought the record and then left it here. And I was like, okay, hey, let's check it out. It's Cult of Luna. I was like, I've never really listened to them. I thought I knew who Cult of Luna was. I thought they were kind of like a Dream Theater-esque band, more kind of like melodic music, and I don't know, not really like the metal or something I could really get into. So I never really listened to them. And ironically enough, I actually met the singer a long time ago at a tattoo convention when he was getting tattooed by a buddy of mine out when we were out in Europe. And he's like, "Oh, hey, this is the so-and-so from Cult of Luna." I was like, "Okay, cool." But I wasn't like a big fan. I really didn't know him. So I was like, "Okay, whatever." Fast forward, my buddy's like, "Hey, let's play this. I wanted to listen to this on your system." I'm like, "Cool." So he brought it over. So this is the album Mariner. And as he described it to me, I didn't do any research on this, so I'm trusting him blindly on this, is that this is supposed to be the soundtrack of people fleeing Earth because I guess Earth has been destroyed. And so they're venturing out into space, into like the unknown to just figure out how to continue life on. So this is supposed to be the soundtrack to that happening. So it's kind of cool to have that as like the, you know, what to picture in your head as you're listening to the music. So there's kind of a story, which I thought was kind of cool. But I'll go ahead and play this album too. This album, the record, is also rad. Check this out. This one was the black. There's black. This white and green kind of mix. So I'm gonna play this record. It starts out pretty slow. So we'll let this kind of build up while we're talking still. And I'll show you the other record too. So they had different versions. I actually just picked up a copy of mine. It's being delivered to me. But you can buy it in green as the front, but then they have a gold one, the magenta, and then the blue one. I guess the most rare one is the blue one. They made 500 pressings, and they did like 750 each of the others. But I think it's the same record across the board. I didn't notice any difference. Here's the other one. This one is also pretty rad. Check that out. Oh, look at sick. Like, and it's really, I wonder, because the way it shines through too, like the green kind of comes through it. So when you hold it up into like the bright light, it really has this really cool like emerald, like almost like a gem feel to it. I don't know. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So this is the song, the intro song. We'll just kind of play the intro there because where it kicks in. But what's interesting about this band, so Cult of Luna, as I found out, I like them. Turns out I actually like this band a lot. It's actually pretty rad. And on this album in particular, they have a guest singer, Julie Christmas. And I didn't know who that was. Name didn't mean anything to me. But when I listened to it, and I heard her singing the backup vocals, I was like, wait a minute, I know that voice. Like, why do I know this girl's sound? And then sure enough, I'm like, I know exactly what this is. This is the singer from Battle of Mice. This was a band I found through Spotify, like, hey, we think you might like this band type thing. And I got hooked. I was actually in Cambodia. I was traveling around the middle of jungle, like just doing crazy stuff for about 3 days. And the Battle of Mice album was kind of the soundtrack I just listened to for my travel. I mean, it's not a soundtrack. I'm on the soundtrack binge, I guess. But that's what I listened to while just running through these jungles of Cambodia. And I don't know, so I have like a very, like when I hear her voice, it brings me back to those jungles. So that's why I knew exactly what the album was. Like, oh, Battle of Mice. So I was like, oh, let me see what she's doing now. I'm curious. So I looked up Julie Christmas. So yeah, she did this collaboration with Cult of Luna. She did Battle of Mice, but then before that, she was in a band called Made of Babies? The hell was that thing called? Made Out of Babies, I think it's called. It was a Brooklyn kind of like Brooklyn band, and when I saw that, I realized, holy shit, I've actually seen her play live before, and like at my friends' bands, just opening up out in the city from when I lived back in the city. So it's kind of crazy is that this album that showed up just a couple days ago, I have no relation to it whatsoever. I've never listened to Cult of Luna, didn't know Julie Christmas, didn't know anything about this album, and it turns out I have a whole history with both Cult of Luna and Julie Christmas of their bands and their music from just various places around the world. So I think it's kind of rad that to find this album, listen to it, and be amazing, and then it being about a travel experience. So I thought that was pretty rad. Now imagine you're listening to this and you're in a rocket, just blasting into space, like the G-force is ripping your skull out of your body, and Earth is like exploding behind you, and you're just flying out into the unknown, hoping you find somewhere to survive, and this is the soundtrack while all that's going on. That is an epic feeling. So yeah, This album is pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. And it gets heavier, and there's lots of really cool stuff. So yeah, this album, huge shocker of a surprise to me, but I like it a lot. I've been listening to this a lot on repeat recently, so I'm stoked to get my own copy so I don't burn out my friends before he gets his own record player. But he's very nice to let me listen to this over and over while he's gone. So Cult of Luna, Mariner, definitely check that one out. Next up, Gojira, L'Enfant Sauvage. So I have no idea. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right because they're French. But Gojira, they are an awesome band. I mean, if you're into metal, I'm pretty sure you already know about Gojira. What was that? Their first album, the one with the whale on it. I remember what it was called. Let's look this thing up, right? Their first album was I don't want to say a game changer, but it was an album. Their first album put them on the map immediately. Let's see. Yeah. From Mars to Sirius, 2005. That album, I mean, when that came out, everyone was like, holy shit, you've got to check out this band. And then every album that they've put out has also been amazing. They really have great music. Me personally, this album, my favorite song, I believe, is The Gift of Guilt. So side 3, let's check this out, see if I can get this thing to play here. But the album's pretty cool, right? Double LP, pull up the records, they're both the same on both, so we'll just go listen to one here real quick. Right here, there we go. All right, let's see if I can find the right album. Nice little orange, really cool color, right? Let's see. Let's see if I can find the right song. Oh, this is one of those albums that drives me nuts, though, because this one plays at 45 RPMs and not 33. And I only have a couple that do that, but it drives me nuts because they don't say it anywhere. You just find out that what you're listening to just sounds weird all of a sudden. You're like, man, this is super heavy. And it's like, oh, it's not. I'm just listening to it too slow. So, let's see. Okay. There we go. So sick. Imagine like live, just hearing this build up, just waiting for it. The whole crowd just quiet, waiting. I don't know, this song just has like a sick riff to it that I just really get into. And then when you get their voices, fucking murders it. But yeah, this band, I think they're one of those bands where they've just gotten better with age, like a fine wine. Like every album they come out with, it's like Behemoth. They started out raw and just have that new noise that's just so awesome. But as they come out with more albums and they get better with their production value, the music just gets so much better. I highly recommend Gojira, L'Enfant Sauvage. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably butchering it. But yeah, great album. I think right now this is my favorite. This one's been my kind of on rotation for a while. Is listening to this album in the background while I'm kind of working on stuff. So if you're a techie, you'll probably notice so far there's a lot of instrumental or even like foreign music I listen to a lot. Most of the time these are up here in my office because I like listening to music that I can't sing along with, or there are no words, because this way I'm really focused on whatever it is that I'm working on, and my brain's kind of being, it's being active by the music, so it's listening, but it's not engaging with the music. I'm not singing along with it. I'm not getting distracted. It's like it's great background music. So for me, I love foreign vocals a lot because then I can really get into the jams. The Sword, this album I just picked up. This album is Red. Let's see if we can pronounce this right. Apocryphon. Sorry. I guess that's what this is. I don't know. But Sword, if you don't know this band, highly recommend them. Again, another just great band. Every album they put out has just been rad. I just got this one, and I've just been having it on rotation. I don't think we need to get into it. It's just another really awesome rock band. Definitely check these guys out. I mean, when they came out with Freya, that's what put them on the map. And then you know what it was is they were on one of their songs got picked up by Guitar Hero, so they were one of the Guitar Hero songs. So they definitely got popular from there. But it was from Freya. I think it was Freya. I think it was the song Freya actually. Speaking of Freya, this is crazy how we're all transitioning perfectly. The Northman, talking about Freya, because Freya is one of the goddess of the Vikings or something for some shit. So Northman was a movie that came out a couple years ago about Vikings and stuff, and it's a badass movie. First off, great movie. If you like first if you like Norse mythology, great movie. If you like Viking stuff in any way, amazing movie. If you like big cinematic if you like big cinematic masterpieces where it's just the visuals are just over the top, where every scene is shot as like an amazing setup, kind of like Dune and all those huge things. This Northman, definitely one of those albums, or one of those movies rather. So big fan of the movie. And again, this ties perfectly with my, hey, I want to listen to stuff while I'm working, so I picked this up. The soundtrack is all traditional Norse music. I'll play a little bit for you here, but it's pretty cool. So that's the main dude. I think that was his wife or some shit. The album, nothing crazy. It's just traditional black album. Let's just go ahead and play something here so you can kind of see what it does. Here we go. Let that kick off. But yeah, as you can see, like, check this out. This is like, like every shot, like 300, like those movies where they're just over the top. This movie is super rad. It also came with something cool in here too, though, which I just noticed. I didn't notice it until the other day, actually. It came with this little thing, which is kind of neat. It's kind of like a poster deal. So check that out. Looks like Odin with the two crows, Hung and Mung. So Nidus, if you're still here and you're actually a fan of our security company, so Nidus, you'll notice we have the ravens everywhere. That's where it comes from. So Nidus is a Norse rune for truth and urgency, and the raven is the one that brings all the knowledge to Odin. So the bringer of all the knowledge. So that's how the ravens got incorporated. But yeah, so this is pretty rad. It's actually an ink pressing. It's not just like some random print. So like some cool paper. So this is pretty rad. Traditional. It looks like it's a rubbing of some kind. I'm going to look into this a little bit more, but yeah, pretty cool. Good stuff. But yeah, any type of music where I can just kind of zone out to, it really helps. Like because when you're like coding and stuff, you got to focus a lot. But I don't want to get distracted because my mind's going to go a million miles an hour in different directions. So when I listen to music on the background, it really just helps me focus a lot more on what I'm doing. And no, I don't have ADHD. Yeah, check this out. Wait, I'm going to skip around a little bit just so play some of it. And this reminds me, if you're into this style of music, I have a band for you to check out. They play traditional Norse songs, and I've been listening to this album now for years. So the band is called Sagnamdur, Sagnamadr. This is kind of what the album cover looks like. They're actually, I did a little bit of research on these guys. Just a group of guys out in Norway, and they go to almost like the equivalent of like a Renaissance fair, but for Vikings. So it's people of Norse descendancy. They all meet up into like almost like a Renaissance village, but an old school Viking village where everyone dresses the part, makes the things like they did back then and all that cool stuff. And these guys specialize in playing and singing the music that existed back then, and they do it in like exactly how it was, like that throat, like guttural, almost like the Who, if you're a big fan of the Who, like that kind of sound. But yeah, this stuff, I love this kind of stuff. So, and then this song, I'm just going to play a little bit of this so you can just kind of hear the vocals from this, because this one is a little bit... stuff's so rad. I listen to this when I get massages, actually. Like in the dark. You got like some essential oil stuff going on. You got this music playing in the background. It's so rad. Here, let's skip over it a little bit. It's like that old tribal, guttural, like real feeling music, you know? So, let's see if it gets like. So this reminds me a lot of like old traditional Native American music. I also love listening to a lot of that as well, like their drums and their chanting. It's like a lot of these old traditional kind of tribal music that exists from all over the world have amazing music that I think is overlooked by a lot of people. So if you're a fan, definitely check out the Northman soundtrack. It is super rad. All right, this next one I'm not going to go into too much because I'm sure everyone knows who he is. I'm sure everyone knows the music. What I'm just going to put out there is that you can be a hardcore metalhead and it's okay to like Post Malone. I love this album. Beerbongs and Bentleys. I listen to this a lot. My wife hates it that I listen to this album. And look at this, it's got a freaking dragon inside. But this song's awesome. I mean, I think this album is really good. I'm a huge fan of Post Malone. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I think his music is rad. I think that his vocals as an instrument is really good. I couldn't tell you what his lyrics are or what they mean, and I don't care. Look at this. It's a clear record, too. It's pretty rad, right? Yeah. But this, another one I like listening to in the background. I kind of like sometimes the poppy music that is so overly engineered that it's purposely built to garner an audience. It's almost like it's a skill in itself. I mean, you got stuff like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and all those kind of bands where it's like everyone loves to hate them. Taylor Swift, but like look at their following. It's insane. I mean, you're talking like millions. I mean, Taylor Swift now is one of the most richest women in the world off making music that I personally don't like, but is so perfectly engineered that you have to respect that as an art form in itself to be able to make music like that, to get like, you know, that is a boardroom decided music that is created when it comes out like that, right? So I don't know. To me, I find that stuff as be pretty interesting. Last one, band Ohm. So Ohm, this one is God is Good. Another album that they like a lot, I think it's called Sleep. It is amazing. These guys are really good. If you like, this is very much chill music. Not a fancy record, traditional, just black. Let's put this on in the background too. Let's see what we got. There we go. So these guys I found accidentally. I was at a record store up in Maine, and there was a record, saw Ohm, and it had like just a cool record cover, and I'd heard of them before, but I didn't really know of them, so I was like, let's screw it, let's pick it up. So I picked up that album, it was Sleep at the time, and then I was like, oh man, this band's rad. Oops. See? Now we got the Chipmunks playing because I'm playing it on 45. It sounds so much different. There. This is Friday night music. You got the lights real dim. Maybe had a drink or two. And just sitting back, relaxing. So good. This reminds, like this whole genre of music. I would say like other bands similar. Like Witchcraft. You ever listen to Witchcraft? Dude, Witchcraft, another bomb band. Witch, another great band like this. Gravedigger. No, Graveyard, sorry. So many bands, very similar names. But yeah, these guys really, really sick. And then the one band this definitely in the same category of that I'm a huge fan of is Sleep. You listen to Sleep? What? Dude. Okay, Sleep is one of the most underappreciated bands of all time. They have their sound is so sick. It's like this. They're part of like the stoner rock. They're more stoner rock than this. But I think their album Dope Smoker, I think I have 4 or 5 different versions of that album, all on LP. And like it's one song. It's over an hour long. It's so good, dude. But yeah, so definitely check them out. That was awesome. I could do a podcast about talking about music every day, all day long, because this is so much fun. So if you made it this far and you're still with me and you had as much fun as I did listening to music and finding out some new cool stuff, I'm glad that you joined this journey with me, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week or whatever's going on. But for me, it's Friday. I'm checking out. I think I'm going to go blast this on the stereo downstairs and veg out for the next 43 minutes and 15 seconds. See you guys around. Later.